for the next half hour, I'll be reading from Buffalo Rising on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. First up is the History Department. It's a piece titled, "But Jefferson Lives, and Other Speculations at July 4th. It opens with a quote from Manly P. Hall from the book The Secret Destiny of America. The quote says, "It is difficult to understand how this reference to a secret order has passed unnoticed for so long, for it is scarcely less than a proclamation of the Society of Unknown Philosophers." Many of the world's pre-industrial empires maintained folkloric and even quasi-magical legends about their own founding. From the Romans to the Aztecs, cultures have liked to fancy themselves preferred by the gods. Like it or not, a common myth seems to help hold a society together. Young as we are, we have those rumors about the United States. Most of the material is less religious than it is occult, as in connected to the involvement of the underground philosophical societies. You don't have to believe in the effectiveness of occult philosophies, or in any form of magical practice, to see why the New World would interest the occultists of the Old. The perfectibility of the human being and the betterment of the entire world have been the avowed goals of most of the classic Western philosophical societies. By the age of Columbus, the church and the aristocracies had Europe in a vice. The New World seemed a chance to start over. It was a laboratory for many players. The Freemasons were the most conspicuous of the potential founding influences. The Lodge was a fad in the day among upwardly mobile men, and most of the big players on both sides of the Revolution were Freemasons. The Revolution has indeed been interpreted as a Masonic schism. Masonic stylings have made their way into the civic architecture of many American cities, including Buffalo. You could take this down a lot of speculative rabbit holes. Manly P. Hall, who lived from 1901 to 1990, was probably the finest scholar who devoted himself to a study of Freemasonry. He dissected the Great Seal of America for its heavy Masonic symbolism. He also hauled up many a folkloric tidbit. One of his nuggets concerns the unknown patriot, or sometimes the unknown orator, an imposing man with a stentorian voice, who in Independence Hall on July 4th, 1776, roused quailing signers to step up to the Declaration with ink and quill. I see why hearts may have been faint. Putting your name to that document was slipping your neck into a noose, at least should the gambit fail. To those it considered rebels, Britannia was no more known for mercy than was Rome. The trouble is that this unknown orator vanished from a guarded hall after his address. No one knew him, which was a curiosity on its own. How did he get in? Was he a wizard, an illusion, a ghost, a rare talking one? The emissary of an occult society who wanted the new nation with so much promise to make its full break from Europe? 50 years later to the day was another curious incident, and nothing's fanciful about it. Two of the founding fathers, second President John Adams, who lived from 1735 to 1826, and third President Thomas Jefferson, 1743 to 1826, represented two major debates over the style of government the young United States was to have. Both towering intellects, they were bitter political rivals. Yet in their later years, the Virginian Jefferson and Bostonian Adams worried that the young nation might not survive without its founding spirits. On July 4th, 1826, 50 years to the day after signing the Declaration, John Adams lay on his deathbed. "I die," he gasped, with hope and faith, "but Jefferson lives." Alas, Jefferson had breathed his last just hours before. In another odd coincidence, the fifth U.S. President, James Monroe, who lived from 1758 to 1831, chose July 4th, too, to follow them into spirit 5 years later. While we're on July 4th and odd anniversaries, let's come closer to home, to Buffalo's magnificent Old County Hall, whose architect, Andrew Jackson Warner, was a prominent Genesee Valley Freemason. During the dedication ceremony on July 4th, 1876, a hush spread over the vast crowd. Word had arrived via a telegraph of Custer's disaster, the U.S. Army's worst defeat to a force of First Nation Americans. That has to be some kind of omen. An exact century later, July 4th, 1976, the bronze statue we have here of George Washington in his Masonic regalia was dedicated. While we're on anniversaries and Old County Hall, we should point out another presidential coincidence involving President William McKinley, assassinated in Buffalo. On the morning of the day he was shot by the anarchist Leon Czolgosz, President McKinley visited the Devil's Hole Cave, widely thought to be cursed. The Devil's Hole, as we recall, was the site of the famous Bushwhack Massacre of September 15, 1763. A Seneca war party shot up a British wagon train and then gave the same medicine to the relief force that marched up from Fort Schlosser. The best single reason I've heard for the attack is that it might have been some spin-off of Chief Pontiac's war against the British. Another theory is that it was a labor dispute. The Seneca had been downsized from their jobs as porters. What is clear is that the popular president was shot in the Temple of Music on the grounds of the Pan American Exposition in North Buffalo. He died in the now demolished Milburn Mansion near Delaware and West Ferry, by the campus of today's Canisius High School. His death fell on September 15th, the date of the massacre at the ill-starred site he had visited. He lay in state for a few days in Old County Hall, where the apparition of his recumbent form has been reported. We should point out another connection between Old County Hall and the Devil's Hole. One of the leaders of the massacre was most likely the then-young Seneca farmer's brother, who lived from circa 1730 to 1815. The worthy chief, later a Buffalonian, had a colorful career. He may have fought for the British in 1755 at the Battle of the Monongahela. He fought against the British, as we see, in 1763. He was surely fighting for the British at the Battle of Newtown, near Elmira, in 1779, trying to stem the tide of Sullivan's campaign. The still sturdy chief stood with the citizens of Buffalo against the British and Canadians in the War of 1812. When the old warhorse, then an American hero, was laid to rest with full military honors, it was here, in the Franklin Square burying ground, at the northeast corner of the block Old County Hall occupies. You can find him at Forest Lawn today. As we ponder the 250th birthday of the United States, we drift back to more occult speculation, and that concerning President John Adams. In paranormal circles, there is a buzz about an obscure society called the Order of the Dragon, a surviving strain of Europe's indigenous paganism. Possibly druidic, earth-centered, and goddess-oriented, the Dragon Society is said to have come to these shores with the presidential Adams family. The Adams line indeed hailed from Glastonbury, home of Arthur's Camelot and Zimmer Bradley's Mists of Avalon. The influence of the dragons was said to have survived into Adams' vision of American government. Around 2000, I crossed paths with Andrew Rothovius, who lived from 1919 to 2009, one of the founders of the idea. The delightful New Hampshire antiquarian didn't give me any proof of this dragon society that overwhelmed the massive unlikelihood of the idea. Yet it is known that strains of ancient mystical thought have crossed the Atlantic. Trunks of books about hermetic occult subjects made it to New England villages with clans whose descendants ended up being major players in the Church of Mormon. I encounter old folk beliefs all the time in my interviews with people of the varied ethnicities of the Niagara frontier. For people like me, it's charming to fancy that some softer strain of the old ways could be out there, still plugging, to turn us back toward the more natural, more spiritual past. I also wish we could begin to talk to one another again. I wish we could see the humanity, even in people who don't agree with us. That was written by Mason Winfield. The 6th Annual Jamaican Market Festival in Larkinville. Chef Darian Bryan is preparing to launch his 6th Annual Jamaican Market Festival in Larkinville on Saturday, July 18, 2026, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Larkin Square. Known as a festival for everyone, the annual Jamaican Market Festival has become a signature Buffalo event, thrown by one of the city's most ambitious and recognized chef personalities. Over the course of 6 years, the festive market has substantially grown as Chef Darien has grown into a sort of hometown hero. Now, with his latest victory as winner of Gordon Ramsay's Next Level Chef, there's even more to celebrate. Not to mention the recent opening of Chef Darien's newest restaurant, Reserve Steakhouse. Even Chef Darien can't do everything himself. In order to pull off the Jamaican Market Festival, he has enlisted the help of his sister, Cherise Lewis, who is the festival director. As author of The Magical Chef's Fedora and Khalees's Smoothie Family, and as someone who lends her expertise to Chef Darien and his Bratz Hill restaurant concept, Cherise is no stranger to demanding roles. In her role as festival director, Cherise helps to ensure that the themes of Caribbean culture, Black entrepreneurship, local small businesses, and community connection are all equally represented. In the end, it's all about the celebration of culture, family, and the spirit of one love. This year's festival features authentic Caribbean favorites, including jerk chicken, rasta pasta, escovitch fish, patties, fried plantains, tropical beverages, and more. There'll be more than 70 local vendors offering artisan crafts, skincare, books, baked goods, jewelry, clothing, and specialty products. Live music and entertainment throughout the afternoon by DJ Ruption and the Cove and Mill Pirates Band. The West Her Culture Tent featuring Jamaican history and music, along with children's activities from Dreamy Buffalo, including crafts, coloring books, games, and hands-on cultural experiences. And there'll be a welcoming, family-friendly atmosphere that celebrates community, diversity, and Caribbean culture. The 6th Annual Jamaican Market Festival will be held on Saturday, July 18th, 2026 from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Larkin Square, which is at 745 Seneca Street in Buffalo. The festival is free and open to the public. While we're on the category of festivals and celebrations, there's an ad on this page for the 45th Anniversary Arts Festival at the Reg Lena Center for the Arts in Jamestown, New York. That festival will be held on September 3rd through 5th. Like I said, it'll be the 45th occurrence of that festival, and it will be featuring music from the 10,000 Maniacs. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Rising on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. In Construction Watch, focus on Canalside. 2 projects are underway within or adjacent to Canalside, with the third starting construction soon. The first steel is rising at the corner of Marine Drive and Commercial Street, where Marine Drive apartment complex is being replaced with new housing. The project is being undertaken by the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority through its development entity, Bridges Development, and its partners, the Habitat Company and Duvernay and Brooks. This first of 3 phases will consist of 254 units of affordable housing in 12 and 7-story towers, and it's being constructed on a former surface parking lot. The residential floors of Heritage Point's eastern building fronting Main Street are taking shape. The project includes 2 buildings with restaurant, retail, office space, and 61 apartments separated by an open space area, following a portion of the route of the former Prime Slip. Each building will be 6 stories that includes a mansard roof level and a basement level. On the North Aud block, Haynes Construction is prepping the site for work. The project will consist of 251 apartments and 17,000 square feet of commercial space. Residential units will be a mix of affordable and market rate. This story tells us that Sports City Pizza Pub celebrates 10 years on Niagara Street. When Mike Rizzo and his father opened Sports City Pizza Pub on Niagara Street in 2016, they had great ambitions. At the time, Niagara Street was still in a state of flux. In recent years, more businesses have opened up on the street, which is fantastic. At the same time, Sports City Pizza Pub is still the only business that is dedicated to serving up pizza, wings, sports, and beer with dine-in and takeout options, 20 high-def TVs, and 60-plus beers to choose from. It is interesting to note that before the Niagara Street location, Mike's father, Mike Rizzo Sr., ran 2 pizza locations in Kenmore, Bella Aroma for 4 years and GR8 Pizza for 8 years. When Mike Jr. and Mike Sr. decided that it was time to open a pizza business together, they chose to do so in a neighborhood that had a lot of history, family history. Seeing that Mike Sr. grew up on the west side, near Niagara Street, they figured that they would compete head-to-head with some of the well-established big-name pizzerias, such as Lenova, Mr. Pizza, and Just Pizza. The reason? They were confident with their food. The father-son team ended up closing the 2 Kenmore pizza spots and opening a completely new pizzeria. Thus, Sports City Pizza was born, and the two have never looked back. Moving over to Niagara and Delavan, we have seen our business grow year after year over the last 10 years, Mike told me. We did it against all odds, with the pandemic, the Sabres' 15-year playoff drought, and the economy in a constant state of flux. Over those years, we've added seating, an outdoor patio, and we expanded the bar. More than anything else, we have continuously concentrated on putting out the best food that we can. It's that consistency that is the reason that we continue to grow year after year. Mike also mentioned that another key to their growing success is the local Appetit app that takes care of all their food deliveries. Recently, they have been concentrating on expanding that delivery reach further into the suburbs. They are even considering the possibility of opening another location in the North Towns and or the South Towns, potentially, if the stars align. In the meantime, they are growing their delivery markets to see if there are any possible fits. Other assets that Mike contributes to their growth is their loyal staff and their relationship building. In recent years, Sports City Pizza Pub teamed up with Mr. Goodbar and Explore and More to handle their pizza. Sports City Pizza Pub also handles post-race food for the Buffalo Marathon and works with the Corporate Challenge, Buffalo Run Club, Next Level, and the Greater Buffalo Track Club. It turns out that Mike was once an avid runner himself. So instead of creating his own run club, he decided to hook up with the run clubs that were already established. Hence, Sports City Pizza Pub is widely known as a runner's bar, as well as an overall sports bar, not to mention a cyclist's bar, ever since Campus Wheelworks relocated to Niagara Street. On any given evening, the pub is a hub for cyclists, runners, and sports enthusiasts in general. Today, Mike Sr. is still actively involved, but more so behind the scenes. That said, the two have certainly come a long way towards establishing a relatively new name in pizza that is now becoming a pretty big deal on the West Side and beyond. On Saturday, July 18th, the Rizzos are hosting the 10-year anniversary party for Sports City Pizza Pub, starting at 6 p.m. They invite everyone to stop by for great food, cold drinks, good times, and to raise a pint and a slice to another remarkable 10 years in business. Sports City Pizza Pub is located at 1407 Niagara Street, which is at the corner of Niagara and West Delavan. Their phone number is 716-871-8088. Waterside Showcase, Community Open House, Tours, and Demonstrations. The Great Lakes Center, Westside Rowing Club, and Buffalo Maritime Center are inviting the public to attend a Waterside Showcase on Saturday, July 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 196 Porter Avenue, 1 Rotary Row. This special open house will include opportunities to explore the Great Lakes Center, the Westside Rowing Club, and the Buffalo Maritime Center, which are all located on the shores of Lake Erie. The Waterside Showcase will provide opportunities to learn about Buffalo's maritime history, while catching up on some of the latest research and studies taking place at the Great Lakes Center. Other family-friendly opportunities include the Erie Canal Seneca Chief will be docked there for tours. The Great Lakes Center will provide living displays of life in Lake Erie and programming to show their work as a research and education center. And WSRC invites people to give rowing a try and to take a tour of Frank Lloyd Wright's Fontana Boathouse. This event is free, it's all ages, and it's open to the public this coming Saturday, July 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, that's at 196 Porter Avenue and 1 Rotary Row. Scene One Cinema's $1 Kids Movie Matinee Series is underway. The Kids Movie Matinee Series, Summer 2026 version, is already underway with 7 more $1 showings every Wednesday until August 19th. Scene One Cinemas, downtown Buffalo's state-of-the-art theaters located at the Market Arcade, is making it easy to catch one of the following family-friendly films for just $1. How to Train Your Dragon, Dogman, Sing, Gabby's Dollhouse the Movie, Trolls, The Wild Robot, and Minions, The Rise of Gru. Taking the family out to catch a film is not exactly cheap these days. Rather, many people consider the outing a special occasion. Thankfully, Scene One Cinemas is offering up this incredible $1 Wednesday matinee deal, featuring a fleet of films that are fun for the entire family. Looking for an affordable family outing this summer? Scene One Cinema Kids Summer Movie Series takes place at the Market Arcade Cinema every Wednesday at 11 a.m. through August 19th. Bring the kids, escape the summer heat, and enjoy a classic movie in downtown Buffalo. Tickets are just $1 and are available at the box office or online. Seating is limited and is available on a first-come, first-served basis. The 2026 Jack Craft Fair at Larkinville is coming up. In a month's time, Jack Craft Fair will be taking place at Larkin Square. Since 2014, the fair has been doing what it does best, showcasing the works of artists, makers, and creative types in festive settings. Not only will there be 100 marketers this year, there are also a number of free drop-in workshops throughout the course of the day, including from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. beaded daisy keychains, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. macrame keychains with Muse jar, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Lego printmaking, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. rubber band bracelets, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. DIY personalized pouches, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. custom beaded compacts. 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. will feature treasure boxes. From 3 to 4:30 p.m. also, there'll be DIY zines. All day at this event, there will be shopping from 100 plus vendors, an envelope exchange and string art installations, and food trucks. Larkinville is the perfect setting for the 2026 Jack Craft Fair, which was founded by Sam Epps and Krista Tabak. The event was built specifically as a maker's fair to showcase independent, grassroots Western New York artisans. The curation of the fair focuses heavily on non-traditional trades, featuring everything from bookbinders and block printers to dice makers, glass blowers, and taxidermy, alongside traditional ceramics and textiles, according to the founders. The 2026 Jack Craft Fair at Larkinville will be held Saturday, August 1st, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Larkin Square, which is at 745 Seneca Street. Done deal, the Black Rock Freight House has been sold. The redeveloped Black Rock Freight House at 68 Tonawanda Street has a new owner. Lotho Minor LLC purchased the building for $5.8 million. Buffalo Freight House LLC, headed by Jason Jotz and Carl Frislin, was the seller. Lotho Minor is registered to Matthew C. LaFleur of Orchard Park. Back in 2018, work began on converting the historic Freight House into a $6.5 million mixed-use project. The complex includes 35 apartments and 3,000 square feet of commercial space. It was constructed in 1906 by New York Central Railroad as part of its railroad beltline encircling Buffalo. Prior to redevelopment, it was utilized for warehouse space and light steel fabrication. Buffalo, which is located at 619 Lafayette, Buffalo. The Buzz Happy Hour at In Buffalo. In Buffalo has been coming up with some pretty inventive and very popular happy hours. From themed affairs to ladies' nights to special guest bartenders serving up drinks, Joe Lettieri, owner of In Buffalo, has curated a very special series of post-work soirees that have become the talk of the town. On Thursday, July 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., In Buffalo hosted its next non-themed happy hour session with live music, hors d'oeuvres, and a cash bar. The coveted social event was the perfect relaxed getaway for both locals and travelers. So for the next time it happens, throw on your nice duds and come listen to some sweet tunes served up by the Dom Misana Trio and DJ Dave Scafetta. The long weekend is almost here. Kick it off with us at In Buffalo. Good music, cold drinks, easy listening, easy conversation, a beautiful porch, no agenda, just a chance to slow down and enjoy a summer evening. Bring a friend, your favorite person, your coworkers, or come on your own. There's always room for one more. We'll have the drinks ready. You just have to show up, says In Buffalo. And again, they are located at 619 Lafayette Avenue. Their phone number is 716-303-4403. The 2026 Healing by the Water Music Series is set to kick off on Thursday, July 9th at 5 p.m. Located at the foot of Ferry along the Niagara River, this annual live music series features free, great music, community gathering groups, terrific food, and a selection of items from local vendors. Now in its 6th year, the Healing by the Water music series has become a real fan favorite, not just because of the quality of the bands, but because of the magical backdrop along the Niagara River. The sensational Freedom Park Amphitheater is the perfect place to watch the bands every Thursday evening. Guests to the event are also welcome to bring their own chairs. There is limited parking at Freedom Park, which means that many people along Niagara Street tend to walk over to the park. Also, riding a bike is a very convenient way to attend. The 2026 Healing by the Water series runs every Thursday evening from July 9th to September 10th. It'll be at 5 p.m. and it'll run to 8 p.m. July 9th will feature music by Tommy Fluker, featuring the Unity Band. Again, this is at the foot of Ferry near Niagara Street. 1170 Niagara is the address, and it's brought to you by Friends of Freedom Park. You can view the full music lineup as the acts are announced at their website. Other artists scheduled to perform will be Denisha Osborne on July 16th, and on the July 23rd, the Pappy Martin Jazz Collective. And July 30th, Plum Night and Friends. August 6th, Marcus Lolo. And August 13th, Old School B-Boys. August 20th will feature Sun Barukwa. August 27th, the 1400 Band. And it looks like the last show of the season, the second to last show of the season will be September 3rd, music by Kevin Hall. The finale will be on Thursday, September 10th, and it will be a performance called The Drum. In honor of our ancestors, please wear white for that event, says the notes. Again, that's the Healing by the Water summer celebration. That'll be every Thursday night at Freedom Park, foot of Ferry near Niagara Street. You have been listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Rising. We read from Buffalo Rising on Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Your reader has been Jim Michaely. Thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service with broadcast studios at 1199 Harlem Road in Cheektowaga. Radio readings are broadcast 24 hours a day, every day, to area people who are blind or have a print disability. This year, our agency marks almost 40 years on the air with more than 300,000 hours of radio readings to those without sight. Our broadcast signal is provided at no charge for WNED. The Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service website is nfradioreading.org. For more information, call 716-821-5555. Good morning. Welcome to another broadcast day in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, a Bradford Organization. As always, please feel free to contact us with your comments, suggestions, and questions you may have. And please stay with us. Our Random Phone News is coming up next.